if I were to just to sum things up though, he'll just take this home for however long he needs to, and think a lot about the left hand, and then if there's another need for a consultation, we come back, kind of thing.
Absolutely. So at this stage, I cannot say that this is the best Chinrest or that's the best pad for him, because the change, the shift from what normally holds the instrument is kind of radical, you know. So if he can play function like this with this setup, and we say, okay, let's go with this, but at the same time, it's going to be a setup that's going to force you to think a bit more about your left hand, okay? And in that context, you're going to start discovering things when you need the Chinrest and when you don't, you see? Mm-hmm. And then you might come back in a couple of weeks and say, this is great, you know, but I don't need so thick a pad. Let's try a thinner pad. Or maybe I think I need a thicker pad, you know, or something like that. Or I'm starting to get a pain here. What do you think that is, you know? We don't know yet. Mm-hmm. So this is the best for now, and you're going to start practicing all these things we talked about. You're going to forget half of them probably.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. No, because it's all on tape.
Okay, yeah. That's what we have here. So you're going to replay this back, you know, and take notes. Send them the file, you know. So if you have any questions about what I said, but if you have any wondering about what does this mean, you email me, you know, or call me up, and I'll explain what I meant on the video, you know. So I think yeah, I mean, we can keep trying different things, but it's going to be all good and a little bit different, you know. At this point, we gotta let you go, you know, and just try out you know, and these pads here. So you just try it and you find a good spot for it, and then you just put an elastic over there. Yeah. A thinner one here. Like this or like that, whichever way you want. You can move around a bit. Doesn't really matter as long as it's in the general area. Yeah.
But like this is like kind of the same kind of change as the old Chinrest. I mean like same level of change in my the way I'm holding my violin from three months ago, when I really was I don't know how to say this. I've been holding my violin the same way for like years before 3 months ago, when I tried changing it up a bit, you know, and experimenting. But
so maybe you weren't wrong.
What?
Maybe you weren't wrong.
Yeah, this is kind of like this similar kind of change from the other setup, but it's still less comfortable. It's more.
The angles are good.
Yeah.
You know, your violin is like heading down. Some people might complain that it's too low. It is not. Who cares? You said.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Don't let anybody tell you it should be higher, because if you find this, every setup will find its equilibrium angle. Okay. Mm-hmm. And if this is where it's comfortable, and somebody says, okay, lift it up, and you go like 2 degrees higher, it's going to start to hurt. Mm-hmm. It's not made to do that. You know, it might sound good for a second or two. Why? Because when you have to hold your violin higher, you end up holding it with your arm, and that's how you should be holding the violin anyway. You know, with your hand. You see, and that's why it sounds good, because whenever you hold the instrument up with your left hand, it sounds better. But then after about 5 minutes, it starts to go down. You go to any master class and the master says, oh, hold the violin up. Sounds good. And you watch and you see that scroll go down, 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 down. A couple of minutes later, it's back down where it was. It's not possible to sustain an unnatural height. Okay? They say the bow falls off. It's nonsense. It doesn't fall off if you have your violin down. Cellos play like that all the time. It's even better angle. Okay?
Would you say it's possible if you use a shoulder rest though?
What? To hold the violin up?
Yeah, it holds up on its own. That's what some people would say, right?
Oh yeah, but then you're using the shoulder rest to hold up the violin.
Yeah.
But it sounds terrible then. So it's not. The sound is good not because it's high. The sound is good because you're supporting with the left hand. You know, if you get a shoulder rest that holds it up that high, you'll still get a shitty sound. Okay, you stand there.
Okay.
So when you hold up the violin, okay, you find the angle where everything is fine. Okay, so you do that. Okay. Now you're going to adjust yourself in front of a mirror to make sure that you're positioned correctly. When you do that, you don't do it by twisting at the waist. You do it, since you're already perfect, you do it by moving your feet. You keep everything else. That's it. You keep everything else fine. Okay. So you're going to look in the mirror. Okay. And what you're going to look at, you have to position yourself first to see, because the reason you're in front of a mirror is to see if your bow is straight.
Yes, okay? I have to.
So no. First thing, you get in front of a mirror and then you position yourself. And you look in the mirror, you look at the bridge. And this is the bridge, right? Yeah. Right? So you have like this, the face, and this edge, right? You turn your feet so that you look at the bridges as so it's the edge. So it's one line. The bridge is one line. Okay? Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now you can tell if your bow is straight. Ah, you see? Now you bow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. You do it. The frog. You do this flippy thing.
The frog.
Yeah, your fingers go floom when you change. Okay, don't do that.
I don't know where I do that.
That's it. At the frog, when you come up like this and you stop, you just go backwards exactly the same way you went there.
Okay.
Nothing with the fingers. Now you're rolling the stick. You're rolling the stick.
I'm doing it again? Okay.
Yeah, well, you can tell because it doesn't move. You're like this all the time. Okay, but with the frog, it should be like this, and because if your wrist is going up and down, the stick should do that.
Oh,
right?
okay. So and it's because it doesn't do it.
Because it doesn't do that. If your wrist is going up and down and the stick stays straight, I know you're rolling the stick.
Okay, now I understand a bit more why I do that.
Don't roll the stick.
Yeah. Okay.
He was trying to keep it flat all the time.
Yeah, that's Suzuki lesson week 1. That's okay, but that's only good at the golden point.
I'm doing
Once you get to the tip and the frog, it goes the other ways. Yeah. That's it. Don't roll. That's it. Keep it locked in there. Don't flip. Just get there and back up. Yeah. Okay. There's more
stuff to do.
There's more there, but that's the basic.
There's more there.
Yeah, that's
I'm not surprised.
that's the basic idea. Okay. And don't flip at the frog. When you get up there, you just reverse like a video. It should look exactly the same.
Why I do that?
Well, sometimes they teach that.
Well, they said privately
that
some teachers recommended it always be flat, some always tilted, and it's like two completely opposite point of views.
What? Wait a minute.
Some teachers say the bow should always be tilted, forward or the other way, and some people say always flat.
Yeah,
and you're saying both ways?
Yeah, because
one teacher says one, the other one says, and they're both renowned teachers.
Yeah, and they're both. Well, first of all, it's not. You don't keep it like that all the time. Okay, you only do one or the other depending on the situation that you need. Okay, so again, hair string contact. What is it that you want to accomplish at that contact? Is it a lot of pressure, bow speed, or contact point? What is it you want to do? If you're playing at the frog and you have to play loudly, it means you need a lot of pressure. You can't do that with a bow hold, which is not going to allow you to apply pressure. So if you're at the frog and you're like this is a very quiet posture. And if I apply pressure, I can't because there's nothing on the stick which is just above the. I have to go down this way towards the string, right? So at that point, I have to turn a bit more this way so I can actually apply pressure with my index finger. So if I'm playing chords, it's like flat wrist. But if I'm playing quiet and I'm lifting, okay. So notice my index finger is underneath the stick.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what's actually doing the business of relieving the pressure on the strings at the frog, not the pinky.
Okay.
Okay. The pinky is a very poor choice to counterbalance the weight of the bow, because it's a very small finger, and you start to get, and it can't do it fast enough. This bowstring, you can't control it. So you turn it like this and use your whole arm, big muscles, to determine how much pressure you're going to put on.
Okay.
Okay, so you curl your finger underneath like that. Okay, for very medium, like from medium loud to pianissimo. It's all there.
Okay.
You can't do that with a pinky. I mean, you could. They say you do, but the other thing is when a teacher says one thing. There was one teacher. He talks about bowing in a circle, a very subtle circle. He teaches that. It's another version of out and in, the Galamian out and in, which I don't advocate because I say keep it straight. And then I went on videotape and watched him play. He was a good player, perfectly straight. He did not do any out or in. So he plays really well with a straight bow, not what he teaches. Okay. So the bit about quickly, I'll give you the short version of why the sound is better when you support. Okay, put the violin down. Put the violin down on the chair. So it's a question of using the muscles. Again, if your muscles are tense, then the tension is translated into the bow. Okay, and very specifically, as you're doing the entire bow stroke, your angles have to change. For even a small bow stroke, like a centimeter or something, everything has to change. You can imagine you're at this angle, then here you're this angle, and then there you're there, right? So quite a range. And if your muscles aren't loose or non-interfering, okay, then they're going to make those changes just more more jagged. Okay, it's sort of when you look at the enlarge on your computer, your letter, boom, it's all pixelated somehow, you know, so edges. Okay, so that's the that's one way. But if you do vector analysis, everything smooths out nicely. Okay, so basically you have to be able to do these smooth motions with the minimal amount of muscle tension and interference. Okay, how do we do that? Well, that's one side of things. The other side is counteracting the muscular force. If you're going to start using small muscles to accomplish the tension that you want, okay, smaller muscles are going to get tired and very tight fast. If you use your bigger muscles, okay, it's going to be a lot easier. So you let the small ones just do the controlling bit. Use the larger ones for doing the big pressure type of thing. Okay, it sounds like weird because they're all attached to the same thing. So if I use a muscle here, don't I have the same tension here? It's sort of a muscle selection. You can accomplish the same thing using a different group of muscles. So here's an example. So if I press on, you just stand normally. Okay, I'm just going to push against your forehead. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so I want you to resist. Okay.
Okay, so
okay, I'm gonna push.
do it with
No,
my
no, no,
neck,
no.
for instance?
I'm gonna push, and you just don't make sure I don't knock you over. Okay.
Okay, fuck. I don't know if I can do that.
No, I'm not gonna push hard. I'm not gonna push hard. I'm just gonna go a little bit. Okay. All right. So instead of 100, I'm gonna press 5. Okay. So, boom. All right. Move it again. Okay, that's the air really strong. Okay. So if I say, so you felt how much pressure that was, eh?
Yeah.
I said, okay, now I'm gonna just put my finger here. You push the same amount of pressure with your head. Okay.
Like the same amount of pressure as
Against
what
me.
you're pushing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Against me. No,
man,
no.
that's
So
different.
what I put, so okay, here, boom, you see like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to press against me that much. Okay.
Again, that's a bit too much. No.
Well, it's okay. Okay. So the idea was when I did this first, okay,
Yeah.
okay, your first natural reaction was, whoa, I'm off balance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And which is the muscle that reacted? That feels kind of smooth when I do that. It's like pushing your head back,
you're
right?
like bullying me.
Yeah, okay. But you can sort of feel your stomach tightens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But when I ask you to push against my finger with the same amount, okay, do it. Okay. See, your head came forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're resisting, you use this muscle, and when I ask you to put the same amount of force, back to me, you use this muscle. Okay. Why didn't you use this one? Okay, because this is more immediate, right? So it's like when I ask you to bow, okay, and I say put 5 pounds on it, whatever, and you just go like this, okay? Put 5 pounds, that's one thing. But when I say, okay, I'm gonna lift 5 pounds, okay? So now it's reacting. Like when I pushed you and you used your stomach, suddenly your other muscles, your bigger muscles kick in because these are right there, but they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna go 5 pounds there, they're gonna go, ooh, 5 pounds back here. Okay, so these are the bigger muscles reacting. So what happens is, when you bow, if I say apply 5 pounds, okay, I crank it up here. I sort of put this and I press it into my shoulder, essentially, Or what happens if I say I'm going to lift up? My fingers don't tense up at all. They just react to it, you see? So anytime your muscles are reacting to a force, it invariably starts off with the larger muscles first. But when you activate, do something, then it's the smaller muscles, you see? So pick up your violin. So the practice is this. Put your violin. If I say like apply pressure, just with the right hand. Yeah.
More like.
Yeah. So you do. Yeah. Okay. You hear that sound?
Yeah.
Play. Okay. Now, instead of doing that, you combine it with.
Just sort
You,
of.
you actually have to go against like more this way
Yeah,
because
this
that's
way,
because
yeah.
the bow is going that way. So you have to actually move like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. So
I can't get the
yeah.
angle right.
yeah, it's a little confusing. But you notice one thing you did when you did it with the left hand, there was no scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the quality overall was scratchless. Okay. That's the type of thing that gives you a nice round sound. Okay. You're eliminating the consonants. Okay, which is actually a disruption in the beautiful Helmholtz vibration of your string. So I mean, you're not a classical player. You're not going to play with so varied dynamics. But the whole point is that if you're going to play for a nice tone, just support with the left hand. So the exercise is just to go. And realize that your right hand really is so relaxed it doesn't do anything. You get to enjoy that, you know. But in order to do that, you have to be able to have freedom here.
You can't
okay?
have shoulder rest.
You
and
can't
be
have a
like,
shoulder rest, you see. So if you have a shoulder rest and you're locked, the only way you can lift your violin is to go like this from the waist, okay?
Which I do.
Which people do. Yeah, you'll see them in the orchestra all the time. They move from the waist, and it's very painful to watch.
But it's the idea is to achieve the same effect is to use like the height of to use the violin against the bow to achieve dynamics. That's it.
Dynamics and quality, because basically you using the correct muscles in a sense, correct in the way that the larger ones that are going to give you a more relaxed sound. Relaxed sound is a more open, reverberant sound, not a tight sound.
Okay.
You know, that leaves your little muscles in your fingers and stuff like that the ability to quickly alter to do bow changes, because as the bow goes, it does these little changes all the time, small changes. These are like pixelated things, okay? And eventually, but you want it straight, you know. And the only way you can do it is you have relaxed muscles, you know, and let the big ones do the tightening, the heavy lifting. This is when they talk about using the arm weight. It's not really using arm weight, it's just using a different selection of muscles. Sensing the larger muscles doing the work rather than the tiny little muscles, okay? Mm-hmm. When you hear teachers talking about use your weight of your arm, you can't do that. You have to hold up your arm. It doesn't make sense. You know, you're not out without gravity or something, you know. But the idea is just this, it's more a selection of muscles, okay? Imagery works. Use the weight of your arm. Imagery will work for some people. But if literally it doesn't work because it's not what you're doing. You're not using your arm weight. You know, your arm is way too heavy to do anything. You know, they talk about, hang your arm on the bow. That's stupid. You can't. It's going to fall to the floor. Gravity, you know. So literally, it doesn't work. But as an image, it works. Factually, it's false.
It's supposed to feel that way.
It's supposed to feel that way, exactly. Yeah. So, but the image basically what it entails is, you know, you can see that if you think of it as using a different set of muscles, then it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay.